All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming today. We are going to hear from District Attorney Erik Nasarenko, the Assistant Police Chief here in Oxnard, Rocky Marquez, and then Sheriff Jim Fryhoff, talking about a 1990 cold case investigation. And we are going to get going. Mic check right here for anybody that needs it. We have names up on the screen and titles as well. And then those watching the live stream will send out all the information that's going to be provided today as well. All right. Sounding all right over there? All right, we're going to get started in just a second.
You're late.
On June the 11th, 1990, exactly 36 years ago to the day, a teenager was kidnapped, robbed, and sexually assaulted at a beach parking lot in the city of Oxnard. A high school student, she was a week away from summer vacation, and she had just gotten off her shift at a local department store when she decided to seek the quiet peacefulness of the ocean. Instead, she was met by the horror of two men who confronted her, ordered her out of the car at gunpoint, money. With one of those men allegedly an embankment and sexually assaulting her. After more than 3 decades, the identity of that man has finally been revealed. Bobby Rollins Jr., 55, of Long Beach, California, was arrested yesterday, Wednesday, kidnapping and robbery with the use of a firearm. He was arrested in Long Beach without incident by Ventura County District Attorney investigators in coordination with the Long Beach Police Department. I want to be clear that every defendant, including Mr. Rollins, is afforded the presumption of innocence. In addition to charging Bobby Rollins Jr. with kidnapping and robbery, the court document also alleges that the crimes involved great violence and were carried out against a particularly vulnerable victim. Specifically, the teenage victim was alone and defenseless, and she was taken against her will to an isolated location and sexually assaulted at gunpoint. After the assault, the teenager fled the scene and crashed her car at a nearby intersection, at which time police officers described seeing a young woman running towards them, footed, her white skirt stained with dirt. We could not charge Rollins with sexual assault due to the statute of limitations, but evidence collected at the hospital after the assault was instrumental in identifying the defendant. Sheriff Fryhoff will talk more about the evidence gathering and DNA testing and how a critical federal Department of Justice grant made that testing possible. If convicted of charges and special enhancements, Rollins could be sentenced to life in prison. He will be arraigned tomorrow, Friday, at 1:30 in Department 13 of the Ventura County Superior Court. His bail is currently set at $2 million. At his arraignment tomorrow, prosecutors will ask the court that he detained and held without any bail. We ask for the public's help in two ways. One, if anyone has information about the second person who allegedly participated in this kidnapping and robbery, we ask that you call Ventura County District Attorney Investigator Yumi Kirk at 805-477-1638. Secondly, we believe other women may have been victimized by the defendant. If you or someone you know has information that connects Bobby Rollins Jr. to unreported sexual assaults, kidnaps, and robberies, please call Ventura County District Attorney Investigator Yumi Kirk at 805-477-1638. I have spoken to the victim. Under California law, she is entitled to confidentiality due to the nature of this case. Therefore, we will not be disclosing her identity. In speaking to her yesterday, she told me that she never thought an arrest and prosecution would ever happen. Too much time had passed, she told me. And in her own words, I just thought this case was dead. But after getting the phone calls from prosecutors and investigators, she knew that hope existed and that justice can still be served. I would now like to introduce Oxnard Police Department Assistant Chief Rocky Marquez.
Thank you. And good morning, and thank you all for joining us today. On the evening of June 11th, 1990, Oxnard police officers responded to what was initially reported as a traffic collision in the area of Perkins Road and Wainimi Road in the city of Oxnard. During the investigation of that collision, officers contacted a female teenager who was visibly shaken and distraught. Officers quickly learned that the collision was not an isolated event, but rather the aftermath of a violent crime. The victim reported that she was assaulted moments earlier. She crashed her vehicle while desperately fleeing her attackers. What began as a traffic collision investigation quickly evolved into a major criminal investigation involving kidnapping, robbery, and sexual assault. The victim reported that at approximately 11 p.m., she parked her vehicle in the public parking lot at the beach at the dead end of Perkins Road. While sitting alone in her car, she saw other vehicles in the area, but had no reason to believe she was in danger. Moments later, two male suspects, one armed with a handgun, approached her vehicle. They robbed the victim, forced her down an embankment, and sexually assaulted her. When the assault ended, the suspects fled, and the victim returned to her car and fled the scene. As she fled, she lost control of her vehicle and collided with a light pole. Oxnard police responded to what was initially dispatched as a traffic collision. Upon contacting the driver, officers found a young woman visibly shaken, crying, and covered in dirt from the assault. The investigation immediately shifted into a violent crime investigation. Officers secured the crime scene, interviewed the victim and witnesses, and collected physical evidence. A victim services specialist was deployed to assist the victim and provide her support. She was transported to a medical facility where she underwent a medical forensic examination. Evidence was properly collected, documented, and submitted to the crime laboratory for analysis within days of the assault. An Oxnard police detective was assigned to investigate the case. Over the ensuing months, detectives pursued available leads, worked with laboratory personnel, evaluated fingerprint evidence, and monitored possible suspect information. Unfortunately, however, the case remained unsolved. While investigative techniques and forensic technologies have advanced significantly since 1990, it's important to realize that detectives worked diligently with the tools, resources, and technologies available to them at the time. And one of the things detectives did exceptionally well in 1990 was to preserve the evidence. Despite their efforts, investigators ultimately exhausted all workable leads, and the case became a cold case, meaning it was an unsolved criminal investigation that remained open pending further investigation. I would now, to speak more on that, I would now like to invite Sheriff of Ventura County, Jim Fryhoff.
Good morning. Today we're here to talk about a case that demonstrates something very important. Time does not erase commitment to seeking justice. Before I discuss the forensic work that helped solve this case, I want to recognize our many forensic professionals, both past and present, whose dedication made this possible. Their work serves as a reminder of why preserving evidence, investing in forensic science, and revisiting unsolved cases remain so important. In 2021, Ventura County received funding through the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, also known as SAKI. The purpose of this federal grant is to identify and test previously untested sexual assault kits, to pursue investigative leads using modern DNA technology. The success of this case began long ago, before the grant was awarded. As was mentioned, back in June of 1990, Ventura County Sheriff's Office criminalist Edwin Jones conducted a forensic examination. At the time, it was standard practice for the Sheriff's Office personnel to preserve portions of the evidentiary samples known as derivatives and store them for future analysis if needed. That decision proved to be incredibly valuable. While the original sexual assault kit was eventually returned to the investigating agency and later purged, the preserved derivative evidence remained in custody in Ventura County Sheriff's Office. And in 2002, those samples were inventoried and rebooked, ensuring that they would continue to be preserved. Because that evidence was carefully maintained for more than 30 years, it was still available when new DNA technology became capable of providing answers that just simply weren't available in 1990. Our Forensic Services Bureau submitted the evidence to Bow Technology for advanced DNA testing. Their analysts were able to develop a male DNA profile from the evidence collected during the original investigation. Our crime lab then uploaded the profile into the Combined DNA Index System, also known as CODIS. The profile generated a match for Bobby Rollins Jr., providing investigators with a critical lead that ultimately resulted in his arrest. This case highlights the real impact of the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative and the value of the federal funding that allows agencies to revisit cases that might otherwise go unsolved. It also demonstrates the need to secure future grant funding to continue to seek justice for victims. It also highlights the importance of evidence collection and preservation in the hope that future technology might one day reveal answers that aren't available at the time of the crime. Simply put, without the forensic work conducted in 1990, the careful preservation of evidence over the years, the resources provided through the SAKI grant, and advancements in DNA science, this case may never have been solved. This arrest is a testament to the persistence and dedication of forensic professionals, investigators, and partners who remain committed to pursuing justice, regardless of how much time has passed. Thank you. I'd like to invite DA Erik Nasarenko back to the podium.
Thank you, Sheriff Fryhoff. We will now answer questions.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the suspect? Did he live in Ventura County at the time? Did he have a job? I mean, what do we know?
He had family in the Oxnard area at the time of the alleged offense. He also had ties to the city of Long Beach.
Is there any prior record for Rollins, either in Ventura County or other areas?
To answer that question, Grant, I would direct you to Special Allegations 6 and 7 in the court document. Specifically, we alleged that at the time of this offense, Rollins was on parole. And we also allege that he had engaged in violent conduct that reflected a serious danger to society.
talk a little bit more about the backlog of cases? I mean, is this kind of opening the door to a lot more cases like this? And how many cases do we have roughly of this type that you guys are now pursuing?
Thank you for the question, Lance. We have already tested over 2,000 untested sexual assault kits dating back to the 1970s. This is one of them. We still have approximately 840 remaining. So that is why the federal grant is so essential. The monies are soon running out. We are seeking the Federal Department of Justice to renew it on behalf of our victims and on behalf of our county.
Is there a timeline of when you'll find out whether or not you receive that funding?
We don't have a timeline. We have asked for support from our congressional representatives. They are working right now with the Federal Department of Justice, but right now we are waiting daily for news. The application has been submitted, but to date, no response.
Right. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more. What is the normal statute of limitations for a crime like this?
The statute of limitations typically in and around 1990, when the offense occurred, would have been generally, there are exceptions, 10 years.
So what is he actually charged with? What is he actually charged with?
He is charged with a kidnap with the intent to commit a robbery during the course thereof. He's also charged with using a firearm in the commission of that kidnap and robbery. And then there are what we call enhancements, allegations that he was on parole, that we will be seeking a sex registration status, also that it involved a particularly vulnerable victim. It was a sophisticated crime. There are other allegations alleged in the complaint.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
We have
Thank
the
you.
complaint and all the photographs from today's press conference and the QR code on tape.
Can you cycle through the vote?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The photos?
Yep.
Yeah.